Now, organizing a policing system that is maintained by a state is as challenging and as demanding, especially in a 21st century Africa, where harmless innovations are a source of suspicion. 16 state governors have submitted reports expressing their support for establishing state police to the National Economic Council. Of course, tinkering with the Constitution to give teeth to this welcome development is desirable. So what would the remaining 20 states and the FCT, what would they be waiting for? But first, let's share this story by our correspondent, Femi Akonde. He was there. Let's go.
The Vice President, Kashim Shettima, presides over a virtual National Economic Council meeting. The governors and other members of the council in attendance approved the implementation of IDICE, a federal government program to promote investment in information and communications technology and creative industry. This is part of the agenda to create more sustainable jobs in post-COVID-19.
Remember that I noted in our last meeting that we must evolve with the changing world. That is why we are providing incentives for the emergence of enterprises that not only serve the exploding population of our youth, but also incorporate innovative digital technologies to prepare them for the dynamics of the present and the uncertainties of the time.
Security is a bigger problem, but it appears the earlier excitement and advocacy for the creation of state police has lost steam. Out of 36 states, 20 states have not submitted their report. The Vice President is not impressed with the foot dragging and urged states yet to make inputs to expedite action to enable robust deliberations on the subject matter at the next council meeting. During the meeting, Chairman of Nigeria Governors Forum, Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, gave an update on the ad hoc committee on economic affairs' main objective to develop a feasible and effective roadmap for addressing economic issues affecting Nigerians at the national and subnational levels.
Given the importance, the critical importance of this project for food security, for job creation, and for helping youths and women in particular, he emphasized that all hands should be on deck and no effort should be spared to ensure that we successfully implement the special agricultural processing zones in all the states that express interest in so doing.
The Vice President urged financing partners of Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zones program to fast-track implementation of Component 2 to boost food security and actualize the Renewed Hope agenda. The VP told the governors to be consistent with implementation of policies that will benefit citizens. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.
All right, many thanks, Femi. Jide, but it's the man on the street would ask, so why would the other governors be pussyfooting?
Well, they are just taking their time. You know, when you are coming up with an idea like this, you have to take your time, think through it thoroughly. The dynamics are different from state to state, or let me say geopolitical zone to geopolitical zone. Look at Kano, for example. Kano may not feel a pressing need for state police because the problems that states like Katsina, states like Kaduna, states like Zamfara, states like Sokoto, and to some extent Kebbi have, Kano does not have it. Jigawa does not have it. So the urgency that the governor of Katsina, for example, we are not less than 12 local governments, suffer in the hands of bandits,
Yeah.
it won't be that same sense of urgency that the governor of Jigawa will face. How many times do you read about people being kidnapped in Jigawa State or even in Kano?
Yeah.
It rarely happens. The same thing in Lagos. We don't hear of buses being hijacked and bus passengers being taken into the bush in Lagos. Our own crimes are peculiar to us. Carjacking, robbing people in traffic, cultism.
Yeah. Yeah.
But people feel the terrible pang of banditry. Those states, including Taraba in the northeast, honestly, they would want this thing to kick off quickly. You see that some states of the northwest, some more. So now, the governor of that state will feel the need for state police with the enabling laws that will permit their operatives to carry assault rifles
Yeah. Assault rifle. Yeah.
to be in place. Because without harming them with the caliber of weapons
Okay.
that these bad boys go around with, you are just wasting lives because these boys can't stand up to them. You can imagine going to a place like Zurumi in Zamfara where there is a huge presence of bandits and they've always operated there. Remember the case of two girls, twin sisters that were kidnapped a couple of years ago. It was in Zurmi. Now you went there, you said you wanted to go and deal decisively with bandits. You went to their camp. With what kind of weapons? Against guys who carry GPMG all over the place? With guys who have, what was it called? Rocket-propelled grenades. Rocket-propelled grenades are meant to disable armored tanks. But these boys fire it at human beings. So, is it those kind of guys that you want to fight with them guns? So the law, as the governors are asking now, the structure of the current policing system that we have has to change, one. Then the law must be amended
To enable
these guys
That's it.
carry the kind of arms that can defend them against the bandits.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
once you are able to do that and you give them good training, they will be able to get the job done.
Emeka, but as we speak, time is of the essence.
Yeah, time is of the essence, but it's very important also for us to realize that it's a constitutional issue, and you cannot rush constitutional issues. You saw throughout 8 years of the former President Buhari's tenure, one thing he had actually said he would do, he couldn't achieve it, and that was local government autonomy. Even, while he was campaigning, he spoke a lot about local government autonomy. He tried, signed an executive order, did everything. No way, it didn't work out. Because states, in the successive constitution amendments, they didn't allow it to sail through. Even judicial autonomy, no way. So you can see that it's about the interests of the states. And then the other thing is about funding. Yes, we know that even the existing police, it's to a large extent, you have to commend the states for providing vehicles, providing, helping to build police stations, helping to, provide renovation and things like that. Provide support for the police. The states have done a lot, but that is different from donating resources. Is different from you actually carrying the burden directly. Many states have not been able to pay.
I get your argument, yeah.
Have not been able to pay the minimum wage of 18,000, not to talk of the current one of 30,000. And then you want to put policing on them. Policing requires a lot of money. It's not just something, they are not posting megats or security guards at the gate. You are posting people who will be involved in intelligence gathering, who will move, who will have patrol vans, they will be on the move regularly. A lot is involved administratively and all of that. So it has to be, they have to think it through. Because you can toy with the salaries of civil servants, which is wrong.
toy with pensions, but don't toy with the money of security men.
Security folks, yeah.
Don't toy with the welfare of security folks, because we've seen it again and again. Even with the government's intention that let us fund it, we want to fund the security agencies, we want to do all of that, but you still have rogue elements. Then you now come to a situation where you owe state police 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. You're looking for trouble, because you already have well-trained people with. So you have to think of all this. Then the relationship with the federal police.
Yeah.
What will be remaining of the federal police?
It's part
and
of
other things. So
it's
the states,
part of the content of
yes,
the law.
The states will have to think through and then consult their houses of assembly. And then, of course, I believe they will reach a consensus.
Okay, then. Whilst the remaining 20 states plus the FCT are making haste slowly, we wish that you give a second serious thought to it. Time is of the essence.